Master Coach 89 here for another Madden Talk podcast. With me I have Jake.
How's it going, guys?
And Ronnie.
Hey.
Today we're going to talk a little bit more about some Madden 18 news, some stuff we missed, and just some more gameplay of some of the improvements they made. And first off, just like last time, we're going to talk about a little bit more about the Frostbite engine. And as we discussed last time, it really helps with the presentation side of things and the physics and all that good stuff. But one of the things that we kind of touched on last time was it enables shared features amongst all EA games. And I kind of want to get in a little more depth about that.
That's the thing where, all the games can work together. So, some of, NBA Live's, features can be... Is that what you're talking
Introduced to Madden, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And also, say if there's a bug, it's going to be title-wide for, not developer-wide, but EA-wide.
Okay. Engine-wide?
Yeah, so how do you guys feel about that? Having multiple teams working maybe on the same bug, or maybe, say, FIFA comes up with a really good idea with, their career mode, CFM, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, I don't really see any harm in that. I don't really see any bad things that can come of it, besides maybe creative-wise, but,
limit creativity.
Well, there's the developers are still working on their game by themselves, so it's more of a group collaboration. Not even that really. It's just introducing new features to each game's gameplay in general. So I don't really see any harm that can come out of it. So it's a good thing, I suppose.
Ronnie?
Yeah, if anything, I think it would definitely enhance maybe productivity. And as you said, as a team trying to work on things, because that's one thing we also noticed with Madden at times.
Just the bugs and stuff.
Yeah, just a lot of bugs here and there.
Warping.
That never really got taken care of, and I think this will definitely eliminate a lot of those problems.
Yeah, being on the same engine for all the games just makes it easier for them to collab together and say, hey, this is a problem. If it's in our game, it's going to be in your game. And that's the honest truth with the bug stuff. And then with the features, sharing features, you always have your fans saying, hey, I wish, FIFA's doing this, why can't we do this, guys? And that's really where Madden has gotten bashed in the past because, FIFA does this, why can't you guys do this? Well, now they can talk to the FIFA team and they can be like, hey, how do we go about getting this in our game? Yada, yada, yada. So, that'd be pretty cool. And also, just sharing some animations and stuff like that, because sometimes we know that, yes, Madden does have a good repertoire of animations, but they're they get repeated so much.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Without a doubt.
I love dying on my offensive lineman when I run the ball. It's my favorite.
Die? Explain it, Jake. Go ahead.
When I run even something like a counter. Even if I run a counter out of shotgun, and I take the ball and I get warped directly into my tackle that is blocking a defensive end, and then the play dies on me.
Okay, so
because he just falls.
The old Mark Sanchez.
All right, so something we talked about before in the last episode a little bit was the contextual awareness is better now. They already have this in the game, but your running back will put the hand on the back of the offensive lineman, and you'll be able to actually be able to squeeze between your offensive linemen now too.
That's good.
Which you were able to do if you held the right bumper, but it still wasn't great.
No.
It was really bad. So one of the gameplay designers, Clint Odenberg, which we talked about him just a tad bit, not really. He used to be offensive lineman in the NFL. He really understands that part of the game, and he's been trying to improve it. And he's been trying to add some features and stuff like that. And that's why over the years we have seen better offensive lineman and defensive lineman interaction. And maybe, with the off-ball injuries, he was the one who really pushed for that this year. So,
I think that's why you see more passing in Madden than you running the ball. Also, passing is more fun.
Yes.
Honestly. Well, depending on who you are.
That's part of a lot of people last year were complaining about it because there's a lot of things they try to do. They try to not really hurt, but the juke just wasn't as good last year, or the spins. The running back.
I liked the cut jukes.
The cut jukes were nice.
But honestly, I was never able to do the super
duper jukes.
Super duper jukes. I was never able to.
I might have pulled them off one every 5 games.
I don't even know anybody that uses the spin.
I use
Yeah,
a
it's-
spin.
Do you?
I use a
He
spin.
does. You see.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Dude,
it doesn't
it's
even look like
fun.
a spin anymore.
It does.
Looks like
There's just a lot of guys who have terrible spin ratings, and they base it off the attributes.
You have to have a guy that actually, because that was one of my favorite things that they came out with last year. Like as far as especially running backs concerned,
tier system.
Yeah, if they have a good juke move, it's going to show up. You know, not everyone's going to have like a 90 juke. Yeah, you know, you're not going to juke me out with LeGarrette Blount. So.
You would do it,
But you are going
to tackle rating.
But you are going to juke me out with Le'Veon Bell because he's that damn good.
Yeah.
So.
Or Zeke, as we've seen with me, you know, I was able to pull off some good
Well,
moves after being
if you
crappy
guys-
at every other running back.
If you guys remember, like, in our franchise in 16, I could run the ball all day when I had Melvin Gordon, but this year I couldn't at all. Not a chance.
And you was aggravated by it too.
Yeah, I mean, it just because I drafted an all rookie offensive line, but mostly, and like, that's another thing we'll get into later. That as far as like XP is concerned and stuff like that, but
yeah, definitely.
But-
we can touch on some of that stuff. That's
Yeah.
always a good idea. You know, they don't just ask for the positive stuff within the Madden community. They ask for the feedback. They want to hear the negative side. Just long as we're not saying 2K, 2K, 2K. You know, that's the big thing because honestly, Madden's getting better than 2K. It's just some of the presentation stuff, which they haven't really focused on because they want to get their gameplay up to par. And that's been their whole reasoning why behind all the why we're lacking certain spots. So since we're actually talking about the running game, we're stuck on that. Where I want to actually touch on, which I actually discussed with Jake a little bit. I made a mention it to Ronnie. There's new offensive plays.
great.
I dig it because
It got repetitive.
yeah, very.
So each specific playbook, I'm not sure exactly how many plays we're gonna have, but each playbook to each NFL team has specific plays geared towards that team, which you would see in certain playbooks. Like the Patriots, you would find a couple formations that was geared towards the Patriots. Maybe the Saints, you have a couple formations geared towards the Saints.
Cardinals.
But not all the teams have that.
Right.
Each team's supposed to have their own little formations, own plays. And within that comes new routes to the game, new wide receiver routes. And also something that was really talked about, which makes me happy, is there's going to be new running plays, which is going to add some more versatility.
Nice.
And some of those plays is going to be where, say, your fullback is going to focus on a certain player. Say he's going to actually block the middle linebacker no matter what, the middle linebacker, the Mike, or the Will. And it's actually, there's like something called a 26 duo, I think, which is, I think, the Will. So, and then you're going to have a certain running play where the wide receiver goes down and focuses on safety, and you ignore the corner, because the corner, you know, is the least good against the run.
He's not
So
going to tackle you.
he-
most
Well,
of the
they're
time.
not one of the strong tacklers.
Yeah, they're the least. So that's actually a kind of a scheme in the NFL. You know, you want to isolate that corner for your running back. So there's new running plays. And within that, it's going to be new blocking assignments, which I just mentioned. You know, the fullback's going to say, go here, go there. And the wide receiver. So there's also an intricacy where the wide receiver will go after the one who's most likely to make the play, who's the most dangerous to stop the play. So he ignores that corner of the safety and goes after a linebacker where the offensive lineman's like shifting to the left or something like that. I'm not taking any specifics from the game right now, but I'm just making a example.
So that'll make having a good fullback really important then.
Yes. And you're just gonna see, you're not just gonna have the power O. There's another play in there where it's supposed to be a power O type play, but there is no pulling guard. It's a zone power,
Oh, wow.
which is a real thing.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and within that, guys, I know we hear this every year, which has improved. The AI of the line is better, meaning they're gonna maybe.
On both sides?
We're specifically talking offensive lineman right now.
Okay.
I'm not, defensive. They always try to work on the AI too, but I really haven't heard anything about defensive line AI. We got the reach tackles and stuff like that, but other than that, I don't really know. But like, say your tackle and guard's going to pull off sooner to the second level. That guy who's going back and forth and trying to shoot a gap. Certain situations, depending on where the blocking is, that fullback is designed to block a certain person now, so that's going to stop that. But what I mean by the AI is like pulling guards, they're actually going after somebody and blocking now. And that was a whole wide receiver, finding the best blocker. You're going to see the wide receivers block more, stuff like that. Something I seen on one of the leaked game footages was actually a bigger body guy, like I think it was Devin Funchess. He had inside integrity on his corner, and what he did once the run started coming to the outside, he moved him. He moved his body. You actually seen a corner get moved off the ball.
It's nice.
Instead of just a standstill animation.
For like 2 seconds, and then the corner gets through.
Well, so that's going to happen sometimes, too, if you don't have a good blocking wide receiver.
I mean, there are corners that can tackle and block shit.
Yeah. So, but, the AI and just the interaction is better on that end. Any comments on any of that? You guys look forward to that? Or
I think that's awesome. I like running the ball, and it was just like upsetting that I couldn't last year. So all this stuff sounds. I'm very partial to it so far. So we'll see when the game comes out. But so far, everything that I'm hearing sounds good.
Ronnie?
I'm kind of curious about the passing.
Okay.
Because normally when the QB's in the pocket, your linemen are just kind of shifting around. Even if there's nobody there, they're just kind of shifting around almost like Tetris, and it kind of gets in your way.
It does. So, more on the AI and stuff. No pocket is a U, perfect U. Yeah. But you will start seeing the pockets form. The tackles actually take the defensive ends wide.
And fan them out.
Fan them out. You will see that. Not every play, but you will see that. So,
well, that happened. That was the last.
Yeah, but you didn't really see the tackles like to your sides. They're gonna be to your sides sometimes, like over here. You're gonna be in the middle of them.
Okay.
A little bit more. It's I don't know, but for Ronnie, kind of explain yourself a little bit more so we can kind of,
Oh, okay. So I've noticed like maybe if you bring like a 3-man rush, of course you get the 5 linemen down, you're in shotgun. We'll say your 2 tackles are taking 1-on-1. You got the center taking on a tackle.
You got a double team with one of the guards.
Maybe, if it happens. If not, those guys are just kind of moving side to side. And say you want to scoot up in the pocket, you can't do that because you're gonna hit somebody. Either they're gonna fall or you're gonna get sacked by your own guy. So I'd like to see them actually just kind of maybe either follow with the quarterback or make way for the quarterback to be able to shift around in the pocket.
Okay. And that's kind of where I was touching with the tackles kind of feigning the defensive ends out. So now you can step to the left, step to the right possibly. And one of the things I seen in some of the pass blocking was in this leaked footage was, say the center wasn't occupying anything, you would see sometimes him double team and help the guards.
Mm-hmm.
But now I actually seen him pull around and come over if there was a blitzer to the in between the guard and tackle and take somebody.
Nice.
So, and then also, if he's helping that guard and then somebody's coming on the delayed blitz down the middle, he'll drop him off and he'll block that. Now, it's not perfect still. If your off-the-line ratings are bad and you got bad awareness and stuff like that, then it's going to be a little different. But it does look much improved. You do have, like I said, you have the tackles fanning out the defensive ends so you have somewhere to step.
Yeah, I just like to see a change. I used to always complain saying that the best defensive lineman was the offensive lineman half the time. He would take you out.
That was true between the running game and the passing game.
Yeah, so I'd like to see that improve. I'm looking forward to that.
But yeah, from what I've seen, it looks good. I mean, it's cell phone footage, which nobody was supposed to do. That was against the rules. You had a few kids who did that. They're actually nitpicking it from people really bad, and it's not fair because, once again, it's cell phone footage. And we got to keep in mind the build we're talking about was 3 weeks old during EA play, and this, you still got 3 more months until the game comes out, but that was 3 weeks old. That was a 3 weeks old build, which means they have another build already that was ready, that was better and more improved. So the whatever footage we've seen, it's going to be much improved. And keep in mind, a lot of these game changers are saying this version of Madden already, with it not being finished, is better than Madden 17.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be nice, and hopefully it pans out, because we know sometimes certain things get in and don't get in. But yeah, with the ID of the mic, you have more options to block somebody to, say, So, it's not technically ID the mic. What it is you're IDing one of those free blitzers coming through. So, it don't have to specifically be a middle linebacker. Say you got that corner nickel blitz. You point him out. What's going to happen is you're going to see your tackle. He's not even going to shift. He's going to shift. But he's going to come over, and he's literally going to, like... Ronnie, you know football. Explain to us what a tackle does when there's somebody, like, wide.
Oh, please don't kick me out of that.
Okay, no, that's fine. But, so he pretty much he separates himself kind of from the offensive line. And he goes over and literally comes over that corner, and he's, like, shuffling.
Oh, yeah.
And he's isolated.
Right.
So, you're going to see new animations with the blocking and stuff. So, it's pretty cool that ID Mike's going to do that. You're going to see this guy completely just separate himself from the offensive line so you can get that corner blitz.
Is, because I feel like this has never been, what's the word I'm looking for? Running backs and pass protection. There are some really good pass pro running backs, and when I do play with those kind of guys, like, Ezekiel Elliott, I feel like it doesn't make a difference at all.
Some of the footage, I've seen some good chips, and I've seen some good cuts. There was some funky stuff going on, but when you do ID the mic, that running back's actually going to be the one who's supposed to take it on that end. So they actually worked on that to where it does feel better.
Okay.
I'm not going to guarantee it's going to be perfect, but he's going to try to cut them, and stuff like that. I do agree with you. There's some good pass blocking running backs out there. That's why teams in the NFL actually have a third down back sometimes. Because you need somebody who can actually protect your quarterback, be that outlet. It does look improved. It's not perfect, but it did look improved from what I've seen.
Okay.
Ronnie, I know you probably have some complaints about the running back missing some blocks too. How do you think you see a difference?
I honestly never really paid attention to the running backs blocking ever.
I do this. Very often I will hot route a running back into pass protection. Like, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if to me, when I do that, and it's a good pass blocking running back, I expect them to at least be able to get a chip on a blitzing middle linebacker coming up the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen 90% of the time.
And another thing about it, I do recall some plays. My running back's just standing right beside me. Dude just comes up the middle. He's just waiting to block some air.
I feel like that's where we're not going to see it as much. I feel like we're going to see it out on the edge more. That's where I've seen it, like the protection designed for him to go to the outside.
Yeah,
to get the
which
chips
it
and
is.
Stuff. I mean, you do in the NFL. You do see him pick up the middle, but you never seen it in Madden. So maybe that should be something that Clint does look at, because I don't actually see many blitzes picked up from the middle by the running back.
Like in real life?
Edges. No, I'm talking about
Oh, okay, I was about to
Madden.
say.
I'm specifically talking Madden.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, exactly. They pick up the guy coming up the middle, but in Madden, you don't really see that. You see him help with the edges, but not the middle so much. So maybe that's something that actually does need to be worked on, because I actually haven't seen it yet. Although, once again, this is cell phone footage. That's like 3 minutes long, or maybe 30 seconds. So can't really say anything about that. But very valid point, Jake, and very true. Man. And something we kind of touched on was the wide receiver blocking. Last year, it was semi-improved. The better blocking down the field with the wide receivers. Mm-hmm. It's, once again, you can even see it even more. You actually see the line run down the field, too, instead of just be stuck on that block with the defensive line and the linebackers. You'll actually see them move up. Yep, take it to the next level. Now, taking into consideration these offensive linemen are as athletic as these guys downfield, so one of the things you see in this leaked footage was this linebacker fly right by the tackle or the guard, and this guard's going this way, trying to get him. You can tell that he's taking that path, but of course he misses it because that linebacker's so much athletic. So we can't expect them to be Superman in the open field, because they're just not what they're supposed to be good at.
Right.
Yeah, really.
But they're running down the field. They're trying to get their hands on somebody. Same thing with, like I said, the wide receivers. Certain if it's the play side, they're designated to block somebody specifically. So that's pretty cool. We haven't actually seen that. It's, we're supposed to block this corner, and they're in a standstill. So that's improved. Something, since we were kind of talking about the pocket and stuff, something we should talk about is quarterback avoidance. No, it was a neat feature. I didn't use it a lot, but I use it every once in a while. If you guys remember the right stick, you could shift it and you could like dodge some heat. It wasn't very responsive, and it didn't always work. I mean, you get it every once in a while. And I'm not even talking about flipping a defensive end off of you.
That just happens automatically, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
That's
but
just an animation.
the avoidance stick can help with
Right.
that too. Well, with the target passing, they taken it out because it was kind of
That's too much.
yeah, it was too much. I hate that they do that. You don't. That's the whole thing with the Madden franchise. Although this team's been a lot better about it, they've taken so much stuff out and then try to fit it in somehow. I understand why, so I'm not gonna hate because I'm not a game designer, but I really wish they would have tried to figure out a way to work it together because you really don't want to take features away. Now I did hear some of the game changers say maybe it's what's the word I've been using for like the running backs with the line contextual. Maybe it's gonna be contextual, hopefully, so we're not stuck in the mud, so to speak. But yeah, so quarterback avoidance is out. The only reason I brought that up is because it's out. Feature gone.
I never used it, so sorry.
Yeah,
No, that's fine. I mean, if you don't use it, I mean, it honestly don't bother me neither. But
I would
I just
just rather run away from the defensive end than try to
which also causes a lot of fumbles.
and try to hope that he doesn't get me.
right. So since we're kind of on the whole quarterback moving and trying to run away and stuff, something they did was it took a while for the quarterback to get the full. When you're behind the line of scrimmage, they actually took away the whole speed for the quarterback. Like, he was stuck in mud, so to speak. Well, this year, they brought it back to where when you're behind the line, if you're pulling that right trigger, you're at full speed.
Thank you.
So your Marcus Mariota's going to run like 88 speed. And we already discussed the whole, hey, this 50-something defensive tackle is not going to catch you. That's in. But you're not stuck in the mud anymore with your quarterback when you start running behind the line of scrimmage.
I feel like that's how it should be because that's realistic.
It is, but there was no combating the quarterback running at the time. Now there is. We have the, push the right stick down and the nearest man will go after him. And that can include the quarterback spy. They have the quarterback contained in now, which they didn't have for the longest time or didn't work properly. And that's another reason. But you're not stuck in the mud anymore when you're the quarterback running behind the line of scrimmage. Jake, you kind of already said your thoughts, but you can speak more about that if you would like.
As far as them not being stuck in the mud anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy they took it out because I understand why they did it, but like if I'm drafting like a CFM team or if I'm just doing couch play and I'm picking a team that has a mobile quarterback, like there's a reason why I'm picking that team. I'm going to run the ball with the quarterback.
Right.
And I really shied away with that because because when we did our first draft and I drafted Mariota, I probably wouldn't have drafted him if I knew that was a thing. So I'm glad that they are deciding to take it out and that there's actual measurements put in place to stop the cheesing. So,
Ronnie?
Well, I mean, along with that, my focus is always on the defensive line with the quarterback, just because I like to go after the quarterback. I'm happy to hear that we'll be running full speed. We'll be able to get out of the dangerous situations. So does this mean that the linemen are actually going to pull off their block?
Well, as we discussed, you now have the reach tackle.
We do, right, but let's say the quarterback's out of the pocket already. You get your lineman still in there.
That's the quarterback contain. Remember, that's quarterback contain where you're released from the block when they're outside the pocket.
But I mean, are they going to take good angles?
I think he's asking.
Long as you don't pinch your line, once again, the AI's been worked on. Long as you don't do stuff with shifting to take your guys out of the play, you should be okay.
Okay, because, I mean, they used to just get behind the quarterback and chase him down. They would never really cut the quarterback off as he's running.
When I call quarterback contain, for the most part, I felt like I stopped that. For the most part. Not all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll kind of, I'll help you with that a little bit, because I actually try to help you with that a little bit. But
right, but I don't want to have to call a quarterback contain every play.
I feel like he's asking if defensive ends and defensive tackles and linebackers are going to be able to disengage with blocks.
Yes,
in order
that's
to take
what I
down
want to know.
the quarterback if he's running.
if they're in position, if you say you have to be kind of
like if your quarterback's sprinting to the strong side and you're a defensive tackle on the weak side, and you're trying to get off,
He's
probably
talking
not
about
gonna
the AI
happen.
in particular. I think the AI in particular, right?
I mean, that's kind of where I'm going with it. Like, if he's on a weak side, he's not going to stay fighting off that guard.
True.
I want
Okay, I got
to
what you're
see
saying.
him cut it off.
Yeah, but if that guard is an all-pro,
And this is where the ratings come into factor too, Ronnie. That he don't have a good block shedding, he's not going to be doing it.
Right, and I understand. I just want to see them take
Work on it.
Yeah.
There's some constructive feedback, which I do agree with. You'll see sometimes that defensive line gets stuck there when they're supposed to know at all times where the ball is, so they should start going upfield.
Yeah.
And you don't see that. You actually see them being stuck in that
Mhm.
patty cake.
Yeah, even when their back's turned against the quarterback, they still can't turn around and get to him. So
I see completely
Yeah.
see what you're saying now, and
that's what I
agree
was
that-
trying to get to.
I just like to take the long way around things.
No, that's fine. And I misunderstood you, and I was actually just going a little more depth with it and turning it around a little bit, but I didn't. But yeah, guys, we all know that in Madden, and this is where I hope eventually Clint each year's been putting work into it, but I hope they give him, like we have the wide receiver and defensive back interactions, and maybe hopefully next year we see the offensive line and defensive line interactions. I mean, they did the moves and stuff for the defensive line a little bit last year, but it's still, there's a lot of stuff you could do. I mean, that's like the most important part of the field, building from the trenches, so hopefully we see more stuff for that, because I agree, there needs to be a lot of new stuff for that area.
While we're talking about trench interactions,
Yeah.
I mean, it was a couple of years ago they did this, but am I the only one that still prefers the stick when you're engaged?
I did like the stick, but actually I do think I like the A and X better.
Because honestly, it's just button mashing now.
Well, I mean, you're still gonna find that sweet spot. Which is
I understand kind of what Jake's saying, but that's the wide receiver interaction too with the whole catching stuff. So I mean, they're just trying to get it a more, because you really don't used to have the moves, like the defensive line moves. You used to have the swim, the
Straight or bull rush,
and the club, and all that, and that's what they're trying to give you more abilities to do stuff like that. And
Yeah.
Because the right stick now is just more for movement than the moves. Sometimes you'll pull off the moves, but
Okay, I was just asking.
yeah.
I just prefer the stick to the button. Not the button's terrible. I don't know. Something about just button mashing, trying to get around off of the tackle kind of sucks. But whatever.
And I can agree with that. But it is a timing thing, which you can get used to, and then it's just like, oh, this is easy, breezy. Which is kind of what we touched on the last episode. We kind of talked about how the jump to snap is kind of, it's a timing thing, but you're not actually pressing it to get like a boost. So I think that's going to affect the hitting the A to get that boost too. You're just going to have to time it right. Instead of getting that boost, if you time it right, yeah, you're going to get there, but you're not going to get a boost. Any more comments on the stuff we discussed so far?
As far as like the trenches and stuff, no, I don't have anything more to say
Ronnie?
about that.
You have anything more you want to say about anything?
No, I got nothing on that.
Okay. So since we're still on quarterbacks, as we know, the quarterback sneak was an issue. It was a guaranteed almost.
OP.
It was OP. 1 year, they completely nerfed it to where it didn't work. Then they brought it back to where it worked. Well, again, now what's going to happen is your quarterback's just going to immediately die down. And what I mean by that is he's actually going to fall on his face. They completely nerfed it.
This year?
Yes.
This upcoming
He's just
year?
going to fall on his face. Madden 18. He's just going to fall on his face.
He's gonna go
They're-
no bones.
So they're killing it. Which I don't like. I understand why they're doing it. But once again, you find a way to work it out instead of just completely remove it from the game. He's literally just doing this. He's just falling to the floor.
So no one's going to call it.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's some constructive feedback. We don't like this. We're stating this. This is silly. Yes, it was guaranteed last year. Yes, it was cheesy. Yes, 4th and inches. I could get it. Yes, there was plays to stop it. The casual people or the people who didn't play the game, I wouldn't say just casual, but the people who didn't play the game 20 hours a day, so forth, couldn't find it. What could stop this offense? So I understand why they took it out, but I don't want to lose control of my play calling and my quarterback. So that's now out.
Well, if anything, that'll make you think twice about going for it on 4th and 1.
Yeah, I'm just one of those guys who haven't figured it out yet. So
I mean,
It
I
don't
didn't-
work all the time. Go ahead and tell them one of the plays run, Jake.
4-3 over 4-3 stack 4-3 over
And then you can go goal line 5-4-3 pinch.
pinch goal line pinch. Everybody pitches for the middle,
So,
and
yeah.
it still doesn't work
No,
90% of the
yeah.
time. So
It's a 50-50. Which is
how it
quarterback-
should be
Yeah.
because
I mean, yeah, granted,
I mean it is a half a yard. So honestly, getting it
But
should
you
be
could get the yard out of it too, which
should-
is where I think they're trying to get rid of the whole yard.
it should be a 70-30 75-25 proposition for me. 75% being conversion. It should be a 75% conversion rate, I believe.
And what they're trying to do is
So-
just make it a complete
it's getting stopped
brainless.
more often.
Yeah.
Realistically, it's getting stopped a lot more often, with the trenches being smashed up.
So he doesn't even dive forward.
He don't die forward. He just falls.
Just
flat.
spaghetti noodles it.
So realistically, you could get a first down.
Yeah. It's, once again, a complete dice roll now. There is no...
It has to be like perfect to where no one's blitzing and it's like a 3-man
Exactly.
front, but you can pick up a first down.
Yeah.
Golly. Okay.
So that's just for now. Maybe in the future builds, we'll hear some news. Hey, this has actually been fixed and tuned and stuff. Maybe they just didn't want to focus. Maybe this is going to be one of the last things they focus on. Remember, they have 2.5 months left, so forth. So this could be something that could be fixed.
Like I don't even think it was that bad.
It really
last year.
wasn't. I mean, it was a guarantee if you were facing somebody who didn't know how to stop it. Sorry, Ron.
That's okay. It happens.
And I didn't find the defense until recently, so or otherwise I would have told you about it because you know how I am. I do share the info. I'm pretty good about that. But it's to help those people who don't put in the time and find the place.
I mean, as someone who doesn't really use it,
Yeah, you
That
really
much?
didn't. I was the one
I
who
don't.
would go to it. And when I say put in the time, guys, I'm not saying that we don't put in the time. I'm just talking about the people who actually just there for like an hour and are done for like a week.
I never used it because, for one, it felt
Cheesy.
cheesy to me.
Yeah.
2, not that I don't run cheesy plays because I do. And did I just say okay? That was 1. 2, I felt like I never got it when I did. Like I feel like I always got. Even when you didn't like know how to stop it, like I feel like I always got stopped by it. So I just never run it. I would rather just run it up the middle of my running back or try to run you over, or get a quick slant or a quick out. But
I admit it was my go-to, and the reason being I'm used to seeing Tom Brady. He has the best conversion rate in the NFL ever on the quarterback sneak. So I was like, okay, I should get this anyways. 90%, yeah.
I mean, I felt like it was fine. I just didn't like that huge gap that he had to fall through all the time.
Yeah.
You couldn't
Well,
make that gap.
you shouldn't have to call a certain play to
Just
stop.
stop.
No, that
Stop it. Your line should be aware.
That should just
And
be
your linebackers.
all defensive line.
Yeah.
So
They should know. They should know the crash. Your job is to crash in that situation. Well, you can make them crash,
it just.
but there should be more some contextual awareness. Hey, the quarterback sneak's coming. We should crash. Which is something else in the future. I'm hoping we see is some stunts and stuff, which Clint said he couldn't get to this year, but it is something they really
That's tasty.
want to get in eventually. So yeah, the quarterback sneak, I guess you could say, is another feature that's been removed, but
well.
it's okay. I mean, there's
Part of
other
the thing.
things we can go to get it. I mean, fullback dive is a pretty good option, but it's not perfect.
Don't
like
get me
it-
started.
So yeah. So since we're still in the off the line quarterback area, we're gonna take a step back. We're gonna talk about the running backs, or the running in general. We kind of already touched on this a little bit together. The jukes and spins are back. You know, so that's always going to be nice. We're going to pull off moves. Now, once again, it's a tiered system. So if you have a running back who has a 70 juke, don't expect every time. Jake, don't worry about it. You open your can. It's fine. Guys, we're having a drink. We need some refreshments. It's kind of hot in here.
What are you drinking there, Jake?
I don't want to upset our sponsors.
Yeah. We got all kinds of sponsors, guys. You know, Pepsi.
As we name them.
Kidding, guys, kidding. But the juke spins are back, so that's gonna be nice. The double juke still isn't in, so that's gonna be a thing.
The what juke?
The double juke, where you get a double juke, and you know how Madden 16 you'd make like 20 people miss with the double juke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's still not back because they don't know how to get that to where it's not so bleh. But yeah, I mean, apparent from what these guys are talking about, it's really nice. You're gonna see once again it's gonna be that interaction, and it's back. So that's good. I'm happy because I felt like I couldn't juke out anybody.
I got pretty good with the cuts.
Cuts were nice. I like the cuts.
I use the double juke all the time. That was my always move.
And
Maybe
it
that's
never
why-
worked.
And it never worked.
Maybe that's why you fumbled so much.
Yeah.
I kind of miss in the older games when the juke was a juke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
Like-
you just like.
When it was the right trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and like.
I understand now. It's all about the stick, which makes a lot more sense. But
And I know I'm going way back here, but like Madden 06, when you hit the spin, he would spin like 3 yards away from the defender, which I liked. It's cheesy, but I liked it.
I'm sorry. I love the spin, especially last year. I spin all the time.
We would see Jake pull off a triple spin last year, like boom, 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 boom.
I didn't do
Yeah,
that.
he did it.
Yeah, you did, and you got a couple touchdowns. Like you done it a couple times. We seen it. Come
Yeah,
on.
it's happened.
Yeah, you didn't do it much, but you did it.
I don't know. Like I feel like I can't make someone miss with anything other than it, and like a cut juke, or whatever you want to call that. That's not the
What's the-
super duper juke that they
Speed
implemented
juke.
this year. Yeah,
Probably.
yeah,
It's probably
the
what it's
dodge, whatever you want to call it.
called. The dodge. The dodge. The dodge.
Either that or trucker.
So, as we just mentioned, jukes and spins are back. Also, the left stick for hitting those holes is going to be more responsive. Meaning, you can, have your hand here and you're just kind of going like this, saying, oh, I want to go this way, I want to go that way, and you actually feel like it's responding to which way you're going. You're not stuck in an animation, etc. So that's kind of been discussed, that actually once it purposely featured, they just feel like it was Frostbite that made it better. So, left stick being more responsive. We want more control. How do we like that? We were just talking about how, 30 game was hard last year. So, I mean, that's kind of nice having the juke back and having more control of your running back.
Anything to make it easier on me and to be able to run the ball consistently. I don't expect to run for 200 yards a game, but I expect to be able to run for 100 yards a game if I have a good offensive line.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I agree with that 100%. And as we all know, I used to love running the ball, and I kind of went to a more pass-oriented offense on this Madden. So, Madden 17. And
Bear.
But yeah, that's pretty awesome, So, also something we have is behind the, to touch on behind the line play, the contextual awareness has been improved. You're not going to be stuck. We kind of already touched on this, but you're not going to be stuck on your offensive lineman as much. Your running back's going to put his hand on the back like you seen on Madden 15. Madden 16, they made it a spin, which was the most annoying thing ever. That caused so many fumbles. But yeah, you're going to start seeing the hand on the back again and your guys squeezing through, which, I mean, you've seen a little bit of, but you really couldn't fit in those creases. So you're able to fit in those creases now. But yeah, so the running game's going to be a thing again, which is going to be really, 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 really nice.
Great. I'm looking forward to that.
So yeah, that's pretty much the running game. Well, just the running ball. The player movement has been improved, as we already discussed, with some of the Frostbite stuff, but also some of the silly animations we've seen in Madden 16, Madden 15 in the past. I'm not saying all of them are gone, which includes that silly animation, hopefully, where we were going for the possession catch, we'd get tackled, and all of a sudden we would pop up and we'd run. That's supposed to be gone. So some of the silly animations are gone in the game.
What about
Every year thing, kind of.
Okay, if I'm throwing a slant or a drag or some kind of end route, and I hit rack, and my guy does a possession catch,
It's so annoying.
short of the first down that I smart route him to, what's up with that?
Flats and stuff, you cannot smart route. It's like the things that have cuts like ins, outs, curls.
Well, I'm not saying like I'm smart routing a slant. I'm
Oh.
saying like when I do slants or if I do a smart route, just depending on the situation. What I'm saying is I hate when they do the possession catch short of the first down when I'm saying rack or aggressive catch. It doesn't make any sense.
Sometimes that's just the responsiveness, and hopefully that I've had that issue too.
Especially if there's no one around them.
Right.
No one within 5 yards of them. Like that's.
And that's, I think, where the player traits may be overriding a little bit, and that's something, hopefully, one of the kinks they worked out. I'm sure Ronnie's seen it too, where you're trying to tell him what to do, and he still goes to the ground with the possession catch.
Yeah, all the time.
And I think that really does get annoying. And there's another complaint where there's some more feedback. We hope that actually gets out, because that really does that puts you in a bad spot. I mean, literally,
it can ruin a drive.
It could ruin a drive. It really could. But something else we discussed was the warping. It was mentioned that most of all of it, well, we talked about the suction in particular. It's all gone. Now the warping, something that was discussed with these new wide receiver, defensive back interactions. There's been a couple situations where there's been some warping. But that's, we got to remember the build. Maybe it's not going to be in the final Madden, but that's always been a little bit of an issue. So, but the part I really don't like is you'll see people literally warp to the ball. We've seen that with some of the wide receiver play this year. So, that kind of runs some stuff, visuals. Even though maybe he's actually there, but we just don't see it, but it still runs it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you saw this video too, but I was watching some football critic, one of his videos, and when he got back from EA Play, and he said he didn't see any warping at all.
Right. And that's, you're going to hear different things from different people because, they have a limited time. They're playing 3-minute quarters. You got 1,000 people in there trying to get their hands on 8 consoles.
Yeah.
So they got a limited amount of play time, and I heard a lot of that too from a lot of the game changers. And then I found this one person. I don't remember who it was. I think his name was Hollywood Gaming or something like that. He found it. He's seen it. So hopefully we see that taken care of because it really hurts your eyes. I think Ronnie, he's seen some of the warp catching this year, and it sucks just seeing
it's terrible to feel. I mean, especially on like a 3rd and 15. It's gonna.
And you think you have to stop on defense, and all of a sudden he warps the ball. I mean, maybe he's actually technically there. We don't know.
It's
but
killer.
It's killer just seeing it. And something more to what we talked about last podcast was the man coverage has been improved. They were really hitting home on this. It's not useless anymore. Back in the day, we see Darrelle Reeves lock down one side of the field. That's supposed to be a possibility now. Wait and see. But with these new wide receiver defensive back interactions, with the chuck and all that and the press, there's supposed to be more than one situation where it's a win-loss. And what I mean by that was it used to be if your wide receiver got off the release, he won. Now, if he gets off the release, your defensive back has a chance to win if that wide receiver sucks at route running. So he's able to recover, make a play. Stuff like that. So that's going to be kind of nice. So when it's a loss for the wide receiver defensive back, you have another situation where it could be a win or a loss. So it's not a guarantee, it's not just straight up, it's a win.
As someone who used to strictly use man all the time, it's exciting.
Yes.
Because I love man coverage.
And you love pressing.
I love pressing and man coverage, and it sucks that I can't do that. Not that I don't like zone, I just I don't know. I like man better.
You believe the best man is the best man.
Right.
You want to see that.
Right.
And I used to, back in my long days, I used to like that. And then I got introduced to zone coverage, and it was more of a mind game.
That's where it got zone has been better for years.
Oh, yeah. Especially last year with all the...
Yeah. Well, I was handicapping myself by refusing to do zone and just keep doing man, but
Right.
I don't know.
I think I got Ronnie off of that a little bit. I introduced him to zone. He was doing a lot of man.
Yeah, well, kind of like you said with Jake, best man on the field should win, but...
Not that I didn't have success with it, but there were just some routes that just beat it every single time. And
slants. It's a lot of the cut routes would always.
A lot of the cut routes, and that's where the wide receiver defensive back interactions come in. And apparently, if you're using, hopefully the AI does this, you're able to mirror the wide receiver, so to speak, too, with that one of the sticks. I don't know how it was supposed to work, but you're supposed to be able to mirror, you're not turning your back, but you're right there with him, and you're stepping, you're shuffling. And
yeah.
So that'll be kind of interesting. So we should be able to see the slants away, which is kind of where the man has been improved. In your the shading we mentioned that it's actually supposed to, you actually see physically that corner take that position on the field. So he's saying I'm taking that away, etc. So it's gonna be, hopefully we can't stop those slants and flats and all that. And then once again, zone coverage, we discussed that. It's been improved too, but something that was strongly discussed and mentioned was the deep blues attacking the ball. They were a liability. They really were. If you had a deep blue like a safety, he wouldn't make a play on the ball. You're gonna see those guys in those deep blues make some plays now and make some picks. Like Earl Thomas, if you're throwing over to his side, he's not just gonna be standing there waiting for you to catch the ball. He's gonna go make a play on the ball. So that's gonna be nice. And once again, we already mentioned how it's gonna play tighter and everything with the zones and stuff. So it's always nice. But so that's not everything. But do we have any comments on anything so far, guys? I mean, there's a lot of good stuff there. Little nuggets.
Speaking of I guess kind of like underlying the ball physics, fumbles.
The awareness has been terrible with it.
It looks like a bunch of men trying to catch slippery soap on an ice skating rink. It's crazy.
When they're trying to recover it.
Yeah, it's like you get a pile of them. It's just ridiculous.
It's been a problem forever.
It's been a problem forever, and it is stupid. There's times where I feel like they should pick it up. You do see it in the NFL, but not. A lot of people, and I agree with this. It's worse than the NFL. Literally, like it's just I mean,
well, in the NFL, you have defensive linemen who don't touch the ball very often at all, and if they're scrambling for a ball, they may hit it. They'll hit the ball and it'll squirt out. But that doesn't happen in Madden. What happens in Madden is the ball pops out, stays in the same place. 10 300-pound men are jumping on it, and there's no way to know. You don't even know who has the ball when it's recovered. You're like, did I get it?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a silly thing. The game changers talked about it a little bit. They really haven't seen anything. There was one guy who said, yeah, it's improved. But I felt like he was just saying that because he really didn't see it much. And it wasn't seen much because there was a lot of fumbles. And everybody was being straight up. So I don't think there's going to be any improvement on that this year. But I think we all agree we want to see improvement on that forefront because it's another ugly looking thing.
In Madden 10, I really liked the fight for the fumble. If it was done a little better, rather than just button mashing, which I'm not sure if there's any way that you can do that without button mashing, but I feel like that's a decent mechanic that they could help. So, I mean, it would be pretty cool if they can come up with something like that. But, I mean, at this point, it's really hard to come up with something, to make the fumbles and how that is better.
But yeah, I agree. I always kind of liked the fight for the fumble, but it was just a little too arcadey. But yeah, it was a good feature. It is realistic, and it's pretty cool and everything. I wish they would find a way to reintroduce it, but I don't think on their list right now.
I mean, it's an 8-year-old feature at this point.
Yeah, but I mean they brought back
got canned after a year, right?
Yeah,
so
a lot of people hated it.
Whatever.
Which I understand why, but it's real NFL. They just gotta find a way to introduce it there. But anyways, Ronnie, you kind of said something about ball physics. So something we discussed last episode was the ball flying up in the air. They're saying they don't see it. They're saying they don't see it.
They don't see
like the 50 yards down the field.
They don't
tip passes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the game changers don't see it.
Yeah. I thought it was the developers.
I thought the developers are not understanding where we're coming from.
Yeah.
As they're poking around with their cane and their sunglasses.
To touch on that a little bit more, which is kind of cool, so one of my biggest complaints is on those tip passes now, you're going to see the wide receivers try to play the ball. So.
Yeah.
Because they would be stupid.
Yeah, they would go limp.
Yeah, the defense is the only one who would make the play on the ball. Now, if you took control of one of the wide receivers, every once in a while we'd get a catch if you hit Y real quick. But so now you're supposed to see the wide receivers make a play on the ball too.
Now, I could understand if the ball went flying up in the air like tip ball drills. Like I could understand
5-10 yards
if that was a thing. Only if it was intentional for the defender, not when a receiver tries to catch it. Because I mean that is a drill.
Okay, so that happens in football. Okay, so like if you have a safety or a corner, fighting for a ball with the receiver, and they do punch it out, or they tip it out, so it does go up in the air. But like I said this in the last episode, it doesn't go 50 feet in the air, and it doesn't go 20 yards down the field.
No, they got plenty of time to get there.
Right. So like, if they can just tone it down, I like how that is.
Mm-hmm.
But if they can just tone it down to where the ball is not going 50 feet in the air, and it doesn't give free safety if you're playing the AI or another person to come 20 yards across the field with a 95 speed safety and pick it off. I mean, that's just the most annoying thing in the world. And I said this in the last episode as well. It's why I stopped passing deep this year at a certain point.
And Ronnie, I know where you're coming from. As me and Jake know, you were a wide receiver in semi-pro league, so you believe that once your hands are on the ball, you're not supposed to let go of that ball. And I understand that sentiment. I do.
I'm not saying catch everything. I'm just saying it's not gonna.
This guy right here believes he's Superman.
It's gonna float like freaking helium. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. I'm giving you a hard time, but yeah, we all agree it's silly. It needs to be worked on, and it apparently has been not removed, but it isn't going all kabobbly to the field goal. So hopefully it stays that way. There's been some more talk about some things, but honestly, that's really all the stuff that's really been a focal point. Something that me and Jake talked about. We'll jump to another new mode they announced a little bit. Play Now mode. Play Now is now Play Now Live. is now Play Now Live, like 2K does with their live. What that means is you're going into a Week 15 game on Play Now, like the game of the week, and you're playing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know how when you load up 2K and you go to Play Now, and it has like all the games that are playing that night. You can play those games. It's like that.
And what that's doing is it's bringing the stats, the roster, like say Tony Romo was out, stuff like that, and it's the Cowboys are 15-0. You're playing that. You're taking them to the 16-0 mark. You have that chance. And then another feature intertwined with that is after you play that game, you can take that to CFM. With the stats and the records and stuff like that.
So if this was implemented 10 years ago, back in 2007, Josh is the 15-0 Patriots, and he's going into week 17 against the Giants, the New York Football Giants, and the Patriots beat them that night. Like, if he goes in and he plays that game and he wins, he could take them into the playoffs and win the Super Bowl, which they didn't that year.
And have all those stats and records.
And then,
and have my name on it.
And he could, bump
Best
that.
coach ever.
And he can have that Randy Moss TD stat record go way up to 28 rather than 23. But, yeah, that's basically it. But can I say one thing about...
Yeah.
I like that Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. I love that they recorded every single week. That was so awesome to be able to hear... what's the word I'm looking for? Current news about the player.
Right.
Because that was one of the things in the older games, you have... you know what I'm saying. You have a player that's injured all year, and it's just cool, and I'm glad they do that. And I'm sure they're going to be doing that again.
Yes, and since we're pretty much done with the Play Now Live, and we're kind of talking about CFM. They're supposed to have CFM specific interaction between those two now, more so than say they were talking about the Cowboys, and they were specifically talking about what they did in real life. That's not supposed to be in CFM now.
Yeah. Okay, that's good because
they're supposed to have there are more pieces to CFM for that part of it and everything. So hopefully that's true. Ronnie, what did you think of the whole Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis, how they did last year with the live updates and everything for that?
No, they did great. I mean,
it was the first time they did it. It's the first sports game ever to do live updates.
And I was so happy not to hear Phil Simms in the game. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Typical Jake bashing Phil Simms.
Sorry.
Why do you hate Phil Simms, Jake? Just wondering.
He's just not good. Like, if you guys ever go to awfulannouncing.com,
oh God,
I'm serious.
That's a thing.
Yeah, I'm serious. Phil Simms is on it all the time. Like, you go. I mean, you can probably go to YouTube, and you're probably already on YouTube. You can go to the search bar and look up Phil Simms bloopers, and my God, God, I cannot stand him.
All right, I had to get the info.
I mean, I'm sorry, like he's a really good quarterback, but like he sucks at commentary. I'm sorry.
He's like a leader of a talk show for the NFL. He's always trying to be funny.
There's a lot of those.
And he's never funny.
Maybe Skip Bayless?
He's balding.
So, everyone at ESPN?
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember. He does a lot of commercials, too.
I don't know, Ronnie.
So, like, if we're talking about real-life football here and, like, actual announcing, the only crew that I realistically enjoy, I like Collinsworth and Michaels. So, Sunday Night Football has it perfect. Their presentation, the music in between, the Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels are dope together. And
well, guess what? Chris Collinsworth isn't going to be with Al Michaels anymore.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, Al Michaels is it's Chirico, right?
No, it's Tony Romo. I thought it was Tony Romo.
No, he works for no, he's CBS.
Is he? Oh.
Or Fox, sorry.
Okay.
Tony Romo was on Fox. That's NBC.
Okay. I thought Tony Romo was
No, Al Michaels is only doing he was doing Thursday and Sunday Night Football. Now he's only doing the Sunday night. And Tirico is doing Thursday night now.
Okay.
Which is cool.
Okay.
So, I think I heard that right. I don't know. That was a few months ago when they
Don't quote us on it.
When they announced that, but whatever. We're kind of getting off topic.
Yeah, here, I mean, it's okay to have some general football talk. But, anyways, we kind of just the whole CFM thing. We just talked about how better announcing, blah, blah, blah. More CFM kind of stuff. Something they worked on, CPU AI play calling. Since there's more stuff in the playbook, the guy who worked on the zones last year is kind of working on that.
Cool.
So we can have high hopes for the CPU AI play calling because it was terrible.
Yeah, zones guy, round of applause last year. Whoever you are.
Third and longs, no more verticals every single time. Yeah. So, late game improved. We've heard that many times, but this guy we can kind of rely on. I feel like Mr. White, his last name I don't remember if it's Andrew or whatever it is, but Mr. White, you're the man. Once again, team differential on play calling. So CFM might be a little more exciting for that play front. For bad news, as I kind of already mentioned to Jake, Ronnie, it has been admitted that resources were pulled from CFM.
Right.
We're not going to expect super things this year, like tons. Pretty much what we're already talked about is what we're going to see. There may be a few other nuggets here and there. I mean, with the gameplay, it's going to make it more enjoyable. So, and this right here, the AI, hopefully. But, that's kind of always nice and everything. We'll see. But yeah, that's kind of cool. So what would you guys like to see with this improvement and hopefully change?
I want to see teams actually run plays that they run. With the expanded playbooks and with Madden putting new plays in the game, I want to see the Panthers run Panthers plays. I don't want to see the Panthers running 4 verticals all game because that's not their offense.
Just a halfback dive.
Yeah, and a halfback dive. That's not how it is. I mean, so yeah, basically, I just want to see realism. That's it.
Yeah, more true to life play calling. Ronnie?
Yeah, Jacob actually took the words right in my mouth. I
Yeah.
like to see more team formidable plays going on.
And hopefully they said what he's doing is he's going to go into the game plan, take things out, put things in. And the game plan, if you guys don't know, is where you go to the options of the playbooks and you can play and say, and first and long this gets called, this person, this is rated 5, this is rated 4. I don't know if Ronnie's seen much of that or
yeah.
You've seen that. Okay. But so that's kind of where these things are going to get reintroduced. They're redoing that a little bit. So hopefully that really does improve. But yeah, that's really all the CFM stuff, which is really disappointing. It's, once again, resources got pulled. They actually sent their franchise guy who does franchise over to NBA Live to help them with theirs.
Oh, wow.
Because the suits felt like, we're okay, and NBA Live needs some serious help, which they do, but they're getting better. But let's talk about a percentage here. And this is something the suits need to realize. We are 65% of their playtime. And play people. We are 65%. So that's pretty cool. And what that means is there's going to be more of a focus on it in the future, hopefully. I mean, 65% is a big number.
Madden 19 better have some serious CFM improvements, or I'm going to be a little upset.
I'm with you right there, too, Jake. I mean, the fact that they pulled resources to another game...
That isn't... No offense, isn't very successful.
No, that's a bad business model. It really is.
I mean, NBA Live is going the way of March Madness did.
Oh, really?
To where it doesn't exist anymore, is basically what I'm saying.
Well, they actually took a couple years off to get better, and I'm not going to talk too much about it, but there's something called the One, and it's supposed to be the best one-on-one matchups in basketball, and it's actually supposed to be better than 2K. The game, not specifically, but the one-on-one interactions might be pretty cool. But anyways, when I talk about NBA, I can agree with you. It's stupid to do that, 100%. Ronnie, if you were in charge of things, how would you feel about if somebody said, we are taking one of your guys and putting him on a different game?
No, I wouldn't be too happy.
Yeah.
Because that's my man.
Yeah.
That's my meat.
Exactly.
No. Nobody touches my man.
There you go, guys. But we can't actually blame the developers. And Clint and Rex, you guys do great at your jobs, and really appreciate everything you do. But the suits need to learn. The guys who have all the money in there need to learn that we are their money. The CFM guys, we really are.
I mean,
65%.
that would be like taking Tom Brady and putting him on the practice squad.
Yeah, pretty much. Good comparison for football.
I mean,
Jake. Oh, that's good.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
And it's not supposed to happen. It's against the rules. So there you guys go. It's against the rules. You can't do it anymore.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So once again, that's really all the CFM stuff. One thing we really haven't touched on has been presentation. How have we felt about the presentation the last couple of years?
I mean, it doesn't really mean a lot to me. Like as far as
Well, priority for me.
When it opens up, like, I'm Larry Ridley, and you have all the thing, and I don't really care that you run out of the tunnel now. Like, that's not. I'm gonna fast forward through it anyways. So
I like the real feel. I like to have the option. I mean, I don't watch it, but maybe I want to.
The only time I ever do that is if I'm in a franchise and I'm in the Super Bowl. Only time.
And part of the reason why they took it out in the first place was the tunnel run out. It's because people skipped it. But this year, they have new engine, so they have more space, so they don't feel like they have to take something out to put something in. And I'm with you guys. I really don't care about the presentation too much. The tunnel run outs is pretty cool. Yeah, but I mean it's neat. I mean,
how much of the percentage of the Madden community plays?
I'm trying to figure out what you're gonna say. Don't worry.
I mean, how much of the Madden community plays the presentation?
Okay, so a lot of
I'm just jabbing at the lack of CFM.
Yeah, right. That's good. No, that's good. That is. Which one of the another guy who was pulled for resource, the art director who does presentation stuff, was the one who worked on Longshot specifically. Just to kind of touch on that, even though we don't really care about that too much. But yeah, I mean, presentation, CFM. CFM's way up their presentation. You have a lot of guys backing the presentation. They want to see more stuff, which I can understand because you want to see something you see on Sundays, which they're talking about the broadcast. We're talking about these people who really like the broadcast setting of a TV and want to feel like they're watching a game as they're playing it.
I just want to say this as a general statement.
Yeah.
If what I'm hearing about the gameplay is true, if it wasn't for that, and if it wasn't for you being able to play with your homies and the squads thing, I would not be buying this game.
I'm with you 100%.
I would be playing 17.
If there was a drastic gameplay features that have been introduced that really make it more true to life football, I wouldn't be buying it either with the lack of CFM. And Ronnie, I think you're on the same front here. You enjoy playing with us. If we wouldn't buy the game, you probably wouldn't buy the game.
No, I mean, you guys are really the only reason I do play the game, so.
And
Just
that's
saying.
what we do. We do CFM. We don't do anything else. I mean, we do. Every once in a while, we'll do draft champions here and there. But that is not what we represent. We represent a.k.a. Shotmaster, pretty much, you want to say. We're with him. He's the CFM movement. We're a part of that. I feel like we want to see as much CFM stuff as possible. And yeah, it's kind of it hurts my feelings a little bit, but you gotta have thick skin, I guess, for this market and being a part of being a gamer.
I mean, it's just aggravating because, like, you can make this scenario in any kind of business, but if you own a grocery store and you take your marketing director and you throw him on another one of your stores that's low performing and you don't market anymore for your store, you lose business.
Mm-hmm. Don't know how we got to retail, but yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, you can...
I understand.
Not
It's a good example.
Not necessarily retail, but just business in general. It's not good business.
I was just thinking Kroger. That's...
yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's really bad. A couple things. Okay, so once again, presentation. Something we kind of touched on last time was there's supposed to be improvements to the sidelines with this new engine.
What? So if I come within a step of the sideline, I don't tiptoe automatically?
There's going to be more interaction. So say you get knocked down, you're going to see a player or a coach pick you up.
Oh, okay.
There's maybe a cameraman in the way. He's going to move sometimes, stuff like that. The sideline's supposed to look a little better just in general. They're supposed to pop more. You're not gonna see the names and the right numbers and all that yet.
I would
That's
like a streaker every now and then.
There you go.
Keep
Can
things
I
live.
see turf pellets pull up when I make a sideline catch?
You
That'd be nice.
do when you zoom
Yeah.
in. You do.
Really?
Yes. That's been in. It's just it isn't. You don't really see it in the regular camera. Maybe now that we're in a different system, a different engine, maybe it'll pop more. But it's been there. That's something they really took a lot of pride in. Like a couple years ago, they were showing off the grass and the pellets and everything, and they kind of took their focus away from it because people was mad because of the gameplay and stuff. But gameplay is better, so hopefully it'll pop more again.
I never noticed. So.
Like I said, they haven't focused on it as much, so maybe it's not as noticeable anymore. But I agree with you. I want to see more things pop with like stuff like that. So like we discussed just a little bit earlier, as we know, there was live updates for commentary. Now there's going to be live updates. Okay. So is anybody aware of the new NFL rules that have been introduced?
As far as overtime?
Just any of the rules.
I know about overtime. I know about... That's the only one that I get off the top of my head by now. I know if you list them off, I'm going to remember them.
I'm just going to list one.
Didn't they change the kickoff rule again?
I don't think so.
No.
But that's not the one I'm looking for. So, who loved watching Chad Johnson celebrate in the end zone?
Oh, yeah, they're letting some more celebrations come back.
The NFL is allowing the players to celebrate. Again,
to what extent now?
It's going to be a fill basis. They're going to fill it out, and they're going to figure out...
No twerking.
They're going to fill out where they really want to go. So, that's going to be a part of the presentation thing for Madden. There's going to be touchdown celebrations again.
That was a thing before.
And with that live update that we mentioned, because we're not going to know how players are specifically going to celebrate, they're going to introduce TD celebrations throughout the year for players.
Can I get Steve Smith rowing the boat, please?
So that's a pretty cool thing. I mean, once again, I'm not a presentation guy, but this is introducing some of the stuff they can do where they can introduce new things throughout the year. So, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Okay. That's cool. Not really high on my priority list.
Not either, but some people like showboating.
I mean, I'd like to showboat.
I know.
I mean, I'd like to...
Can we talk about how bad, like, the, when you're on a breakaway touchdown and, like, the showboating, But check out how bad some of those are.
Yeah, I don't do it. Frankly, because I don't really know how, and I don't want to throw the ball backwards. I don't want to throw a lateral.
I just want a high step.
You can. I just don't know how you do it. You spell too. I don't know. If
I
you
don't.
still can.
You can't.
You can't.
I've tried almost every single one of the things.
You know, a feature I miss is the actual high step in the running game. Just saying. Since we're talking about high step, but I agree. The celebration incidents are pretty bad. But really, that's all the stuff we've seen. I've seen and read. I mean, there's going to be a few nuggets here and there that I've missed, but overall, I mean, Madden 18 is looking like Obama's and good, except for the CFM stuff. But I'm pretty excited.
I'm in on it. I was a lot more excited about Madden 17.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I mean, CFM stuff.
I think there's a lot more. There's a lot of new features that we were introduced to.
True.
Now it's just
Zones got me all hyped.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the zones might beat a lot of this and the other little small nuggets.
Zones, not only that, practice squads is super cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just a lot of the CFM stuff. I mean, I've said this before. I'm not an Ultimate Team guy, so that's really the only mode I play. And you know, all those improvements really got me hyped up for it. Plus the zones. And the only thing that I'm really hyped up about this game is the gameplay itself. That's about it. So, yeah.
And that's what's got me hyped, honestly, is gameplay. Like,
I wouldn't even say hyped, just more...
I understand.
Mildly excited. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to play this, 30 days of my life when it comes out, by the time the next one runs around. But...
I feel you, I really do. The CFM thing really killed me. I am truly, my feelings are hurt. Ronnie, how do you feel about all this?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just still looking. I'm just ready to wreck stuff with you guys on the MUT squads.
The squads.
I'm really looking forward to it. That's actually probably the biggest thing I'm looking forward to this year.
It's funny because you do defensive line, and I know Josh has been practicing with the corners lately, and I almost strictly use linebackers, so that's funny how that works out.
We're going to be a force defensively.
It's funny how that works out.
The offense we're going to have to work on, but we got Jake as our offensive coordinator, I think.
Yeah, we'll have to get on the same page there.
And as everybody knows, I don't throw interceptions. So.
He's gotten better at it. He has gotten better at it.
I mean, I throw 6 in a game.
Yeah.
I can still win that game, but...
yeah, you still can win that game, which is kind of funny.
I think it's me.
I feel like Jake's better in offense than me, too. I've been struggling as of late. Although it was his new running game, I don't know. I feel like I might whoop his ass now at some offense. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. That was a little cold there.
Whatever, we'll see.
But, yeah. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. Next time, I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a wish list. And literally go a deep dive into it and give some specifics. Have a list, and just kind of have some bullet points for what we want to see, our feedback specifically within that wish list, so to speak.
For Madden 19.
For Madden 19 and what we wish they would just bring to the game in general.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so...
when should we be expecting this?
This episode or next?
Next.
Next week from Tuesday? Today? Maybe? A week from today.
Nice invisible watch.
Thanks. I like...
Is that platinum?
That is a platinum. That's pretty nice. I mean, 20,000 carats? Just kidding. Alright, guys. But thank you once again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.